Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to yet another session with Dr. Victoria Katasi. If you have seen the previous videos, by now you should be excited to see another one showing up on your screen. So, my name is Rachel Kanyana, and I'm a communication specialist. I'm going to let Dr. Victoria introduce herself. She's an amazing, well-credited, amazing woman. I'll let her introduce herself.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Victoria Katasi. I am a health and wellness specialist. I am also a specialist treating children with brain and spine cancers and blood disorders. Welcome to this edition of Wellness.
Okay, so to dive right in, discovering your purpose. This, I wouldn't say it has become like a buzzword, but at least it's all over. And I remember as a young adult, when I was a young adult, back in the day, because I've gained some years now, this is something that I struggled with, really. And I can see so many people struggle with that now. Not only young adults, these are people we've worked with. You see that they have, walked a journey, walked a mile in their career, but they still struggle with their purpose. I'm extremely invested in this topic, Dr. Victoria, and I'm looking forward to see what you're going to say. Now, help our viewers and listeners understand, how can one discover their purpose? What is purpose anyway? Do we need it? So all these questions that surround this topic, please.
So thank you very much, Rachel. I'm actually glad that we are talking about this topic today. I am also as equally invested, if not more invested than you are, in this topic about life purpose.
Yeah.
Because part of what I want to leave as my legacy is to inspire other people to become the best version of themselves.
And let that sink in. Sorry, Dr. Victoria. I want that to sink in, ladies and gentlemen. She desires to inspire you to live your best life. Okay.
Yeah, and so part of how I do that is through teaching people how can you discover your life purpose and what life purpose actually is. I actually got in touch, or I was able to work with a coach, a lifestyle and career and mindset coach called Meg Juma. She owns an organization called High on Ambition that works with career women. And she helped me go through this process as a person. Previously, before I had met Meg, before she was my coach, I had actually thought about who I am, what I want. I had written down my goals, but somehow she helped me to put this into perspective. And so here I am to share with all of you this very pertinent and important topic. Like Rachel has said, it's something that you're hearing all over the media, and it's thrown in so many rooms and spaces where you go. So you hear so many people talking about life purpose. Is it important? Yes, it's actually utterly important, because it makes a meaning to how you live your life, to how you show up in what you do, and the fact that what you're doing every day is going to make a difference or not. So when we talk about life purpose, it's why you're here. Let's say, why am I here? Or why are you here as Rachel? Or why is Sarah or John here on this earth, in this life? And it also determines, why do you get out of your bed in the morning and do the things that you do? Okay? Why do you live your life the way that you live? Because you'll notice you may be, let's say, 3 sisters living in the same house, born of the same parents, and you may even be triplets and you're all of the same age. But you'll notice that on a single day, each of you is doing different things. One got up at 7 a.m., one got up at 5 a.m., and one got up at midday. Okay? Sure. And we are all showing up differently in life. Why? Because one has discovered who they are and why they are here. They have actually been able to know what is their life purpose. They've actually sat down, reflected, and zeroed down on that. And so they're living their life in a way that for them makes meaning. And maybe for the other person, they haven't actually zeroed down to what it is, and so they wake up at midday, spend most of their time watching Netflix, okay? And so we are here to help you solve the puzzle. So discovering your life purpose is important, because like we've said, it gives meaning to your life, okay? To why you're here, why you do the things that you do, but also it gives you direction. It helps you create a blueprint or a roadmap for how should your life move, okay? Because in life purpose, you're going to decide on, what do I want to do in life? How do I want to live the rest of my life? And what impact do I want to make? Or what legacy do I want to leave? And so if you decide that I want to be the kind of person who will maybe build an organization that will help orphaned children, so that I will help uplift the lives of these children and they can become better people in society, okay? Then you will have a roadmap of, how do I go about that? So where do I find the orphan children? How do I get the resources to build the organization? Who can I work with? What skills do I need? Managerial, leadership. So where do I enroll to get those skills? You see, so then you create a roadmap, a blueprint of how to get there. And in how many years can I do this? So how can you zero down on what your life purpose is? Okay, there are some steps that have been researched and put into practice, and these are things that we can all, incorporate into our lives. It's an exercise that you can try on your own, but also you can reach out for help to do it together, so that you're guided by me as a coach. So first, you want to take a look at your childhood. Okay, look at what are those things that you liked doing when you were a child. Okay, are there some activities that you used to be so passionate about? They would give you joy. You didn't have to be pushed to do it. When they said go and play soccer, okay, you would run out, or you would run to help mommy in the kitchen, or help to take care of your siblings at home. Like, there are some things that you are so eager to do. Okay, things that gave you joy when you did them, serving other people. Yeah. Think back at your childhood. Think about the childhood experiences that you had. Okay, and take a look at how did it actually shape me and form me as a person. Then look through the later part of your life after your childhood, like your adolescence. Okay, are there things that you discovered as you were growing that you're very passionate about? It could be you are passionate about music, you're passionate about reading and learning new things. Okay, think about things like that. And look at yourself where you are now as an adult. What skills do you have as a person? What are your skill sets? Okay, what knowledge have you acquired? So maybe you have learned some skills in IT. Okay, maybe you have learned some writing skills, some speaking skills, and put all that together. Now you integrate what is it that you're good at, the skill sets that you have and the knowledge. Integrate what your passion is, what are the things that excite you, the things that give you joy. Okay.
So to interject right there, Dr. Victoria, we've looked at how you can discover your life purpose. So first is to look at your childhood, reflect, evaluate the things that came natural to you, things you were excited about doing, right? So the next one, we are looking at the skill set, right? So how you're going to integrate that. Is that what you're saying?
So we talked about, like you said, we talked about your childhood, what are the things that you are, really just for you to understand more, what are the things that you're passionate about, what drives you, what gives you joy. And then we also talked about your skill set. Okay, so what knowledge do you have, what skills do you have, so that you can what are you able to actually execute. But also, what is it that you want to do in this life, okay? Like, what do you want to leave as impact? What for you would a life of significance look like? And maybe a good way to look at that is imagine yourself on your deathbed. Okay, because we don't like to think naturally about death as human beings, but it keeps us grounded when we think about it. Yes. So think about that time when you have reached and you probably are 99 years of age, if we get there, and you're on your deathbed and you're thinking back at the way you've lived your life. What do you want your legacy to be? Okay, what impact do you want to have made in this life? What significance do you want to have made? What do you want to be remembered for? Yeah. So, because this is what you want to start doing right now. Right. Okay? So, I want you to then integrate the things that you're passionate about, the things that give you joy. Integrate them with the skill sets that you have, and then integrate them with what it is that you want to be remembered for, the significance or impact you want to make. And when you've written all that down, see where do these three intersect, where do they meet. Okay. In that area there is where you will find your life purpose, for sure.
Okay. So I'm going to take you back a little bit to the point of knowledge or skill set. You want to evaluate the knowledge you have, the skill set you have. How does it apply to someone who say, okay, they didn't complete their university or they didn't get a chance to get a higher education, because most of the time we measure our skills with our qualifications. How would you say that to a person like that?
Okay, so first of all, it's going to depend on what it is that you want to do. Okay. So some people want to do things that don't require them to actually go back to school. Like maybe if you want to invest in something like, horticulture. Okay. You could learn this by just shadowing someone. And shadowing, I mean like maybe being an apprentice, doing an apprenticeship. Yeah. You actually go and, stay or work beside somebody who has been doing it for years.
Okay.
They pass on the skills. They teach you how to do it practically as you are doing it. So some skills can be learned through apprenticeship, okay,
Yeah.
or shadowing people, experts who have actually done it. However, some skills will need you to go back to school,
Yeah.
because either you're acquiring higher knowledge, or maybe because you didn't complete. And if you want to be a lawyer for sure and you didn't complete university, there's no way you're going to become a lawyer. So for that, it means that now you have to plan on, how do I go back to law school? I need the finances. Where do I get them? How do I put it into my time? Okay. And then give yourself a number of years that maybe within the next 1 year I want to actually enroll in a law degree. This is how I'll pay for it. You know, so that you're planning for it. Because if you want to make an impact in the field of law, then you need to have a law degree for sure.
Yeah, thank you so much for clarifying that, because, you know, most of the time we give ourselves excuses, and I've seen that really. That's why I asked. I've interacted with people who say, you know what, I didn't have a chance to complete my university degree, so I don't think I can do that. And I feel like that is a limitation mindset, or limited mindset, or something like a limiting belief, I would put it. So now, really, there is no excuse, there is a way around it. If your life purpose is in a direction whereby you actually need to acquire these skills, you have to go back, or you can plan to go back. That's what you're saying. But also for anyone who didn't really acquire a higher education, there is no excuse to that, really. There are things you can do, like Dr. Victoria has said. You can shadow someone who is already doing that, or who is already an expert in that, to acquire that knowledge. Okay.
But also, maybe to just interject, there are a lot of online courses currently.
Yes.
Okay. In fact, education and getting knowledge has become so much easier in this day and age that it's unacceptable for somebody to say that they cannot learn. You just go online and you find a podcast, find a website, and there are some online courses that are free. There's so much material that you can actually get and learn for sure. So we don't have an excuse anymore to stay where we are.
I agree with that. Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. So, so Dr. Victoria has listed some of the ways you can actually discover your life purpose. And you know, one of them was to reflect on your childhood, things that gave you joy, things that came off naturally, but also evaluating your knowledge, your skill set. And in this case, if you think you don't have any skill set, you can shadow someone, you can go back and study. She just pointed out there are plenty of resources, free resources for that matter, online, that you can take leverage of. But also think about your legacy. What do you want to leave behind? What do you want to be known for? You know, what are you passionate about? And you say, with those three integrated, that's where your passion, your life purpose lies, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, to take this a little bit further, how would you say, because now I've seen people who come up with life purpose statements to say that, okay, I help women achieve A, B, C, D. How do you come up with that? Because now I've seen this. Yes, we've listed all these things you've said. How do I come up with that statement?
Okay, so after you have actually zeroed down on what your purpose is, and this exercise may take a bit of time.
Okay, that's a very important point.
Yeah, it may not take just a day. It can take you some weeks, some months, because you're going to go through a period of reflection.
Right.
But also to remember that it is something that your life purpose can actually evolve, because you also keep evolving as a person. You keep growing, you meet you come across, you know, like new experiences, new challenges, and so you may want to steer that direction a bit differently from what you had imagined it initially. So keep that in mind as well. So after you have gone through this entire process of reflection, you know what your strengths are, you know what you are passionate about, but you also know what you want to leave as a legacy, or for you what it means to live a life of significance or impact.
Yeah.
Then to sum that up together is where you would actually create a life purpose statement. You know, like for example now, I think that part of what my life purpose statement says is, and I introduce myself as that for sure, I say I am a specialist who treats children with brain and spine cancers. But if you read on my website a bit more, or my social media sites, you'll notice that I say I help children who have cancer and blood disorders to live a better quality of life through evidence-based medicine and research practice. Because basically that's what I do. Clinical practice, I see them in the clinic and treat, but I also do research. I invest in cancer research as an expert. So through this cancer research, through this taking care of them in the clinic, I am actually helping to uplift their quality of life from where they were, the pain and all the symptoms they have, to actually give them a better quality of life where they're actually cancer free, or for those whose tumor is incurable, to being in a state where they are actually pain-free and living better than they were before, okay? That's a purpose that I created out of my career as a specialist to children with brain and spine cancers. But of course, I had to look at my skills. I already have the skills of being a doctor, and I'm already a specialist in this field. I have the knowledge. Okay, and I'm passionate about it for sure, because the reason I actually went to do it is because I worked with children with cancer before, and before I even decided to do this as a specialization, and I got intrigued and excited, and I saw the gap, because the gap was there for sure, and so I went to do it. Okay, but also because looking like from when I was young, I've always had a heart to serve. Like, I like to help people naturally. So for me, when I put all those together, really for me it worked out, and I'm able to write that as my life purpose. But now we're talking about wellness, okay? Like I said, I want to inspire people to live, the best version of themselves, okay? And to optimize their lives so that they can become part of the world's top 1% through wellness. Also, I'm doing this. But you see, I have the skills, I have the knowledge about wellness, and I have the passion for it, because you see that I'm living it out in my life as well, Yeah, and really when you look, this is something that I've done for years and years. So for me, when I look back from when I was young, it's something I've always wanted to do. So I think it's when you sit down and think through all these things that you put together, it's creating the life purpose would be maybe the easier part, I would like to think, for sure. It's just wording and English, I think.
That is a very important point to put across. Now, actually, our dear viewers and listeners, using a very live example that we have today, using Dr. Victoria's example, now you see how you can put all these things together. But should you really be struggling with that, I invite you to book a consultation call. I understand, as someone who works with Dr. Victoria, I know this is an area that she helps her clients in. So you'll be working with the right person to help you discover your life purpose in case you're struggling. But also knowing that herself, she's living her life purpose. Yeah, so it's another thing to actually to work with someone who is living exactly what she's preaching. Thank you so much for sharing, Dr. Victoria, today's session.
Thank you, Rachel.
It's indeed very inspiring. I don't want to add on so many words to even water it down in any way possible. I will just invite you to say any final remarks before we close our session.
So to all our viewers there, if you have been, wondering what life purpose is, I hope that we've helped to demystify this elephant in the room, and it's about time for sure that you all zero down to what your life purpose is. So reach out, and we can have a call to help you discover what your life purpose is, so that you can start living your best life and live a life of impact and significance. Thank you.
Now, have you been inspired? Has any word, even just a single bit, inspired you? Be sure to hit the like button, but also share this information with your loved ones, with someone you know will be helpful. This information will be helpful to them. I also invite you to check out our website. There are plenty of resources for you that will help you on your wellness journey. Whether you're starting out or you're already into your wellness journey, there are plenty of resources that will be helpful to you. So be sure to check it out, and we will see you in our next video.